Hello my dear students, how are you all? I think you are fine. Today in this tutorial we are going to learn transformation. But you know that there are 5 items of transformation: meaning based sentence, structure based sentence, voice, degree and assertion of sentence. You know that there are 5 types of sentence under meaning based sentence, that is assertive, interrogative, imperative, optative and exclamatory sentence. Then structure based sentence, there are 3 types of sentence: simple, complex and compound. Voice, you know, active and passive voice. Degree, positive, comparative and superlative degree. Assertion of sentence, that means affirmative sentence and negative sentence. If we can complete all these 5 types of changes, then we can cover the complete transformation. But in one tutorial it is not possible for us to complete everything. So in this tutorial we are going to discuss the most complicated and the most important ones, that means structure based sentence, simple, complex and compound, but in the easiest way. Okay, let's start. Simple sentence contains one indefinite clause, that means IC, a phrase there may be or not. Complex sentence, of course there will be an IC, that means indefinite clause, and there will be one or more definite clause, that means DC. In compound sentence there will be only one IC, that is indefinite clause, and there will be one or more CC. CC means coordinate clause. Here we have given IC means indefinite clause, DC means definite clause and CC means coordinate clause. Okay, so simple sentence means one IC or more phrases. Complex sentence means one IC or more DCs. Compound sentence means one IC or more CCs. Now we are going to an example. Simple sentence: I saw him going to market. Here I saw him IC, that means indefinite clause. Going to market, it is phrase. Here look at the picture, one IC, one phrase here, that is it is simple sentence. Then how can we transfer it into complex sentence? Here I saw him IC will remain IC and phrase will transfer into DC. In the simple sentence going to market phrase, but in complex sentence who was going to market, it has been DC. Then compound sentence, IC will remain the same and the DC will transfer into CC. We have already transferred. I saw him and he was going to market. Here I saw him remain the same like the previous one, and he was going to market, it has been CC. So phrase, DC, CC, these parts are always changing, and in simple complex compound IC will remain the same. Now look at the picture very sagaciously. IC, here IC and IC, that means indefinite clause will remain the same, but from simple to complex and compound, here simple sentences phrase will transfer into DC in complex sentence and DC will transfer into CC in compound sentence. So this part, the red color part will be changed here. Okay, you have already understood that transforming simple complex compound is nothing but the discussion of clause and phrase and nothing else. So it is very important for us to identify different types of clauses, that means indefinite clause, that means IC, definite clause, that means DC, and coordinate clause, that means CC. And we have to understand phrase. So what is clause, what is phrase, we have to understand it in detail. Both clause and phrase are parts of a sentence, but clause is a group of words which contain subject and predicate. Predicate we know, that means finite verb plus object, or it may be finite verb plus adverb or complement or other things. So subject plus predicate. If you see these 2 parts, that means subject and predicate, in a group of words, then that group will be called clause. Whereas phrase is also a group of words which does not contain subject and predicate. Clause contains subject and predicate, but phrase does not contain subject and predicate. Okay, let us give an example. She saw the man going to market. Here she saw the man clause, going to market phrase. Why? Because in this clause she subject, saw the man predicate. Here saw verb, the man object. Verb plus object or verb plus other things, this part is called predicate. So she subject, saw the man predicate. So in this part there is subject and predicate, that is why it is clause. But the next part, going to market, it is not a clause, because there is no subject, there is no predicate. That is why it is called phrase. Okay, now we are going to discuss types of clause. There are 3 types of clause: indefinite clause or principal clause or main clause, Number 2, dependent clause or subordinate clause, and number 3, coordinate clause. They are now in details. Independent clause, that means IC, or you can say principal clause or main clause, no problem. The clause which can express its meaning without taking help of other clause or phrase. For example, Sohail became pleased when he heard the news. Here, Sohail became pleased, independent clause. Why it is independent clause? Because this part can express its complete meaning without taking help of others. That means without taking help of the next clause. When he heard the news, it is dependent clause. You can deduct it, no problem. The first part, that means Sohail became pleased, this part can express a complete sense without the next part or other things. So this part is called independent clause or IC. Now we will understand different criteria of IC. Independent clause is a clause without conjunction. That means in your independent clause there will be no conjunction. It can be used at the beginning, middle or ending part of a sentence. Then only one independent clause exists in a sentence. Usually not more than one independent clauses in a sentence. One IC can simply make a sentence and nothing else. Every sentence contains an IC. Yes, you will never get any sentence where there will be no IC. Okay, now come to this point, DC, that means dependent clause. The clause which cannot express its meaning without taking help of other clause. For example, if Dula gets the prize, she becomes happy. Here, if Dula gets the prize, it is a dependent clause, that means DC. Why it is DC? See, she becomes happy. Without this part, the next part is independent clause. Without this independent clause, the first clause, that means dependent clause, cannot express its full meaning. If Dula gets the prize, then what happens? The meaning is incomplete. That is why it is dependent clause, because this clause cannot express its full meaning without taking help of other clause. Now we are going to know different criteria of DC. See here, a DC always starts with subordinating conjunction. DC means dependent clause, but you can say also subordinate clause, no problem. So subordinate clause always starts with subordinating conjunction, like when, while, after, before, till, until, since, as, because, though, although, if, who, what, whom, whose, where, how, why, when, that, etc. Suppose this dependent clause starts with if. If is a subordinating conjunction, then it can be used at the beginning, middle or ending part of a sentence, like indefinite clause. More than one DC may exist in a sentence. Without DC, a sentence can be made. Yes, it can be made. But for making complex sentence, you have to use a DC. Okay? So, without DC, sentence can be made, but for making complex sentence, you have to use a DC. At least one DC. Now, we are going to learn CC, that means coordinate clause. This clause starts with a coordinating conjunction and mainly connects two independent clauses, that means two ICs. For example, Jyoti got a plus and everybody praised her. Here, everybody praised her IC, Jyoti got a plus IC. These two IC, that means two independent clauses, have been connected with and. So here and is coordinating conjunction. So coordinating conjunction plus an independent clause. This part is called coordinate clause. So and everybody praised her. This clause is called coordinate clause. Criteria of coordinate clause, that means criteria of CC. It starts with a coordinating conjunction, we have already known, and, but, or, so, therefore, as well as either or, neither or, not only but also, etc. Yes, this type of coordinating conjunction will be used usually at the beginning of your coordinate clause. See here, this is coordinate clause, red colored clause, and this clause has been started with and. It is easily used at the ending part of a sentence. More than one CC may exist in a sentence. Without CC, a sentence can be made, but for making compound sentence, definitely you have to use at least one CC. So without CC you can make a sentence, but for making a compound sentence, definitely you have to use at least one CC. Up to here we have already learned different types of clauses. That means IC, indefinite clause, DC, that means definite clause, and CC, that means coordinate clause, and there are different criteria. Now everything has been very easy for us. We are going back to discuss simple, complex and compound and their criteria again. What is simple sentence? In a simple sentence you will see only one IC and there may be one phrase or more than one phrase, or there may be no phrase, no problem. So for making simple sentence, an IC, that means indefinite clause, is a must, and phrase may be there or not, no problem. What is complex sentence? In a complex sentence there will be only one IC and one or more than one DCs. What is compound sentence? In compound sentence there will be only one IC and one or more than one CCs. So these are the basic criteria of these three types of sentences. If we like to change a simple sentence to complex, from complex to compound, what can we do? That is very easy. The IC, that means indefinite clause of simple sentence, will go to the IC of complex sentence. That means this IC will be IC of the complex sentence, same. It will remain unchanged, but the phrase will be transferred into DC. From complex to compound, the IC of complex sentence will go to the IC of compound sentence. It will remain the same, but DC of the complex sentence will be transferred into CC. Then it will be compound sentence. We are going to give an example. He bought a book written by Nazrul. Here he bought a book. It is IC. Why it is IC? Because we have already understood that IC, it is a clause which does not have any conjunction. Yes, this clause does not have any conjunction at the beginning. See, without conjunction there is a clause, that is of course IC, and this clause can indefinitely express its full meaning. That is why it is IC. He bought a book, it is IC. Written by Nazrul, it is a phrase, because this part has not any subject and predicate. That is why it is phrase. So definitely it is a simple sentence, because the criteria of a simple sentence we have already understood that there will be IC and there may be a phrase. Yes, in this sentence we have got an IC and there is a phrase. That means definitely it is a simple sentence. Now we are going to transfer this simple sentence into a complex sentence. What can we do? Just nothing. You have to transfer the phrase into a DC. This IC will remain IC and phrase will be DC. Then it will be complex sentence. See, this IC has become an IC and this phrase has been transferred into DC. That is written by Nazrul. It was a phrase in simple sentence, but which was written by Nazrul, it has been DC in complex sentence. How can a simple sentence be easily transferred into complex sentence? The IC will remain IC and phrase will be transferred into DC and nothing else. Now make it compound. Nothing else. IC will remain IC and DC will be CC and nothing else. See the example. Here IC has been IC and this DC has been CC. This definite clause has been transferred into coordinate clause. See, he bought a book, the same IC, and it was written by Nazrul. It has been CC. So which acts both as a subject and a conjunction. But in compound sentence, a separate conjunction and separate subject. As a subject we have used pronoun. Now it is a big question. How can we transfer a phrase into DC and CC? That means how can we transfer a phrase into clause? It may be definite clause or coordinate clause. No problem. Okay, we are going to discuss it in detail now. How can we convert a phrase to clause? There are 4 options. About that you have to be careful. If you can overcome these 4 steps, you can easily convert a phrase to a clause. It may be definite clause or coordinate clause, no problem. Selecting right conjunction for your clause, making your subject for your clause, making your verb for your clause, making extension for your clause. See here, Jyoti got a plus because of her studying sincerely. Here Jyoti got a plus, this part is a IC. Because of her studying sincerely, this part is a phrase. So it has been a simple sentence. If we like to transfer this simple sentence into complex or compound, then definitely this phrase will have to be converted to a clause. See here, we have made it complex sentence. Jyoti got a plus because she studied sincerely. How? See here, from phrase we have converted it into a clause. It is phrase in simple sentence, but it has been a clause in complex sentence. How have we converted a phrase to a dependent clause? See here, number A, selecting right conjunction. So from because of, we have taken the conjunction because. From her was positive case in the phrase, but we have taken she from her. Why? Because she is the nominative case, that means it is subject, but her cannot be a subject. Her is positive case. So from positive case we have taken a subject, from her we have taken she. Studying, it was not a verb in the phrase, but in the clause we have used it as a verb. Why it is past tense? Because here is past tense. Sincerely, it is extension. Extension remains the same. Okay, so ensuring these four types of things, we have converted a phrase to a clause. What we have learned from the previous discussion? Look at the figure. This is phrase, this is clause. How can we transfer a phrase into a clause? See here, because of her doing the work, this is phrase. And how have we made a clause? Because she does the work, or we can say because she did the work. According to the tense, we can use does, did, no problem. So how have we transferred it? Because of, it was preposition or prepositional phrase, but from preposition or prepositional phrase we have taken the conjunction. From because of, we have taken because is conjunction. From her we have taken she. Her was positive case, she is subject, that means nominative case. Then from gerund or noun we have taken the verb, does or did. So doing has been does or did. Then extension, the work, extension remains the same, but sometimes extension may be changed. So conjunction, subject, verb, extension. If we can ensure these four things, it will be easily a clause. So from a phrase, we can easily make a clause in this way. Now we are giving some examples. Simple sentence. Monir was rewarded because of his having honesty. See here, Monir was rewarded, it is indefinite clause, that means I see. Because of his having honesty. Here, this part is phrase. So if we want to make it complex sentence, what we have to do? Do you know? Yes, IC will remain IC, no sense, but phrase will be DC. See here, we have made a DC from the phrase. So from because of, we have taken because. From his, we have taken he. From having, we have taken as a verb, had. Why it is past tense? Why it is not has? Because it is past tense. That is why in the new clause we have made past tense. Because the indefinite clause, we have seen the verb is past tense. Honesty, honesty. Extension remains the same. So because he had honesty, this dependent clause we have made from the given phrase of simple sentence. Here we have used an indefinite clause and a DC. That means it has been a complex sentence. Now we have to transfer the complex sentence into compound sentence. Yes, we have made it, but this part has come to the beginning. He means Monir. Monir had honesty, and so he was rewarded. Why it has come to the first position? Because we know that in compound sentence we have to maintain the sequence. Which event comes to the first position? Monir had honesty, this event, or Monir was rewarded? Which one should be used at the beginning? Definitely Monir had honesty, this is the first event. Then afterwards Monir was rewarded or not, that is the second event or afterwards event. So in compound sentence it is an exceptional sentence, and we have to maintain the sequence in compound sentence. So in compound sentence, Monir had honesty, this event will come to the first, and next clause have been used in the next part. That means this DC has been transferred into IC, and IC has become a CC. So IC and CC, their position may be interchanged according to the sequence of the events. Okay, now we are going forward. Up to here we have discussed everything that is very essential for transferring from simple to complex, from complex to compound. Okay, look at the picture again and try to remember the basic rule. From simple to complex, from complex to compound, what you have to do? Nothing. This IC of the simple sentence will remain IC in complex sentence, but phrase will be transferred into DC. Then it will be complex sentence. From complex to compound, this IC of the complex sentence will remain the same in compound sentence. IC will be IC, but DC will be CC and nothing else. It will be a compound sentence. Okay, more example. Simple sentence. The girl passed the examination because of her sincerity. See here, the girl passed the examination, it is IC. Because of her sincerity, it is phrase. Why it is phrase? Because in this part there is no subject, there is no predicate. Why it is IC? Because there is subject, there is predicate. The girl is subject, passed the examination predicate. And why it is not DC and CC? Because this is a clause without any conjunction at the beginning. Yes, this clause does not start with a conjunction. So if you see a clause without a conjunction, definitely it will be an IC. So an IC and a phrase, that means it is simple sentence. So make it complex. IC will remain the IC and phrase will be a DC. See here, IC has remained the IC and phrase has become a DC. Because of her sincerity, it was phrase, but in DC we have used because she had sincerity. In compound sentence, it is very easy. Why it has been interchanged? That means IC and CC in compound sentence. Why has it been changed? It is an exceptional sentence. In compound sentence, we have to maintain the sequence. The girl had sincerity. This event is the first event, or she passed the examination, it is the first event. Definitely she passed the examination, it is the afterwards event, next event. But the first event is the girl had sincerity. Yes, it is the first event. That is why we have used the first event clause at the beginning. So it has been IC and the IC has been transferred into CC. So IC and CC, their position has been interchanged according to the sequence of the clause or of the events. So one thing is very important here. In simple sentence, for making phrases, we have used because of. But in complex sentence, we have used because, this conjunction. But in compound sentence, that means for making CC, we have used and. So, for making simple sentence, in the phrase part, we have used because of. Yes, here because of. But in complex sentence, for making DC, we have used because. Yes, for making DC of complex sentence, we have used here because. And for making compound sentence, that means making CC in compound sentence, we have used and. Here we have used and for making CC. So for simple sentence, because of, complex sentence, because, in compound sentence, and. These are the basic changes of phrase or conjunction of different types of sentences. Okay, go forward. Tithi appeared at the examination despite her sickness. See here, Tithi appeared at the examination, definitely it is an IC, despite her sickness. Despite means in spite of. So despite her sickness, it is phrase. So how can you make it complex? Nothing. IC will remain IC and phrase will be DC. Then it will be complex sentence. See here the example, IC has been IC and this phrase has been a DC. So how have we made here DC from phrase? Instead of despite, we have used though or although. Then from her, we have used here she. Was, we have taken from outside, a verb. Then from sickness, we have taken this part, sick. Sickness was noun, but here sick has been adjective. So conjunction plus subject plus verb plus adjective. That means 4 things we have made confirm. That is why it has been a DC. Then compound sentence, Tithi was sick. Yes, it will come first because it is the first event. But she appeared at the examination. It has been a CC. See here, IC and CC. So, have you noticed the basic sense of conjunction? Yes. In simple sentence, for making phrase, we have used here despite. But in complex sentence, for making DC, we have used though or although. But in compound sentence for making CC we have used but. See here the sense. Despite for making phrase, though for making DC, but for making CC in compound sentence. Okay, go forward. Bruce Lee was too strong to defeat anybody. See here, Bruce Lee was too strong, it is IC, to defeat anybody, it is phrase. It is an infinitive phrase. Okay, how can I make it complex sentence? Nothing else. IC will remain IC and phrase will be DC. See here, IC has been IC and phrase has been DC. To defeat anybody, it was phrase and it has been a DC in complex sentence. How? See here, instead of to we have used here that. From Bruce Lee, that type of subject, we have taken a subject, he means Bruce Lee. Then it was past tense, was past tense, that is why we have used here could past tense, defeat here main verb, anybody extension. So that he could defeat anybody, it has been a DC. From where? From this phrase. So it has been a complex sentence. Then compound. See here, it is very easy. Bruce Lee was very strong, the same IC, and he could defeat anybody. It is CC. Notice the basic changes. 2 in simple sentence. Here is 2, here is 2. In simple sentence 2 but in complex sentence so that, here is that, here is so. Then in compound sentence very and, here is and. So in simple sentence for making phrase 2 then complex sentence for making DC we have used so that. Then in compound sentence for making CC we have used very and. Yes, these are the basic changes of preposition and conjunctions. Okay, proceed. By studying properly you can pass in the exam. By studying properly it is phrase. You can pass in the examination it is IC. So how can you make it complex sentence? Nothing else. This phrase will be DC, then IC will remain IC. See here. If you study properly, it has been a DC. You can pass in the examination. It has remained the same, that means IC has been IC. How have we changed it? By studying properly, it was a phrase, but in complex sentence we have made DC. If you study properly, how have we changed it? Instead of by, we have used here if. You here is the subject in the clause, see? So, from the clause, we can easily take the subject for making the new clause. Then studying, it was not a verb because it was verb plus ing. Verb plus ing is not a verb. It was not a verb, but in complex sentence we have used here as a verb. Study is verb here. Properly adverb, it is extension. So we have used here conjunction plus subject plus verb plus extension. 4 things we have ensured. That is why it has been a DC. So it has been completely a complex sentence. Then how can you make it compound? Nothing else. This DC will be IC and this IC will be a CC. See here. You study properly and you can pass in the examination. You can say in this way or you can say simply study properly and pass in the examination. It is IC, it is CC. Notice the most important changes. In simple sentence, in making phrase we have used by plus gerund. Gerund means verb plus ing. So by plus gerund we have used in making phrases in simple sentence. But in complex sentence we have used if, this conjunction. But using if you have to make affirmative clause. Okay? In compound sentence we have used and. Yes, these are the basic changes. Okay, proceed. Without working hard, no person can shine in life. Here, without working hard is a phrase because there is no subject, there is no predicate. No person can shine in life, it is IC because in this clause there is no conjunction at the beginning and without this clause no sentence can be made. And this clause, this IC can independently express its full meaning. Okay, now how can we transfer the simple sentence into complex sentence? Nothing else, only this phrase will be DC and IC will remain IC, the same thing. Okay, see here. If a person does not work hard, it has been a DC, he cannot shine in life. It has remained unchanged, that means IC has remained IC. In compound sentence, the DC will transfer into IC and IC will transfer into CC. See here, a person does not work hard. It has been an IC. How is it? If we omit this conjunction, that is if, it will be an IC. So IC, DC and CC, there is no basic sense. Only you can use a conjunction or not. According to the use of conjunction, it will be IC, DC or CC. Suppose he cannot shine in light, here it is IC. But before IC, we have just used and it has been a CC. If we used here when if, then it would be turned into a DC. So for transferring an IC, DC and CC is nothing else. Just use a conjunction or delete a conjunction and nothing else. Here it was a DC and from DC we have made IC. How? Only omit, that means delete the conjunction. We have deleted if and it has been an IC. Okay. What are the basic changes here? Like by plus gerund, here without plus gerund, that means without plus verb plus ing. Gerund means verb plus ing. In making phrase in simple sentence we have used without plus gerund, yes. But in complex sentence, if, we have used this conjunction if. But this will be a negative clause for maintaining the meaning. That is why we have made it negative. And in compound sentence, sometimes it is used or otherwise or and. Here we have used and, but sometimes it may be or otherwise for making CC. Okay, proceed. Hamid went abroad in order to get a good job. Hamid went abroad, I see. In order to get a good job, phrase, like infinitive phrase. Okay, how can I make it complex? Nothing else. IC will remain IC and phrase will be transferred into DC. Okay, IC and phrase has been a DC. See here, in order to get a good job, it was a phrase in simple sentence, but in complex sentence we have made it a DC. Instead of in order to, you have used here in order that or so that you can use, no problem. Then from Hamid, this subject in IC we have taken this subject he. So we have used conjunction in order that or so that conjunction, then subject he, then it is past tense, that is why we have used here could, past tense, then verb that we have taken from the phrase get, then a good job, extension. So conjunction plus subject plus verb plus extension. Four things we have ensured, that is why it has been a DC. Use of IC and DC, it has ensured a complex sentence. Then compound, IC will be IC and DC will be CC. See here, Hamid went abroad, same IC, and he wanted to get a good job. See here, and he wanted to get a good job. It has been a CC from DC. So the basic changes in simple sentence for making phrases we usually use in order to, but this in order to will be transferred into in order that or so that in making DC of complex sentence. And for making CC in compound sentence we have used and dot dot want to or want to dot dot so. Here past tense because IC is past tense. That is why we have used wanted or could. It is past tense. Okay. They saw an albatross flying towards the ship. Here they saw an albatross, it is an IC, flying towards the ship, it is in present participle phrase. So how can you make it complex? IC will remain IC and phrase will be in DC. How a phrase has been a DC? Flying towards their ship, it was a phrase. Why it is a phrase? Because in this part there is no subject, there is no predicate. But in DC there is subject, there is predicate. Which is here subject and conjunction, was flying, verb, towards their ship, extension. So in this part we have got conjunction plus subject plus verb plus extension, everything. That is why it has been a DC. Using an IC and DC we have made it complex sentence. Okay, how can you transfer it into a compound sentence? Nothing else. IC will remain IC and DC will be a CC. See here, IC has been IC, remain unsensed, and DC has been a CC. See here, and it was flying towards their ship. Which is the basic sense? Nothing else. Which has been used here as a conjunction and subject. But in compound sentence, that means for making CC, we have used different conjunction and different subject, which is used for making DC and it is used for making CC. This is the basic difference. Okay, so what are the basic changes that we have used here? In simple sentences, for making phrase, verb plus ing plus other things, verb plus ing. So present participle, then for making DC we have used here RP, that means relative pronoun. Which are the relative pronouns? Who is that, who, whose, whom, etc. You have to use the suitable relative pronoun here. Then in compound sentence we have used and plus a pronoun. Pronoun is a subject here. Okay, proceed. Rishma has bought a mobile made by Samsung. Rishma has bought a mobile. It is IC. Made by Samsung, it is phrase. How can I make it complex? IC will be IC and phrase will be DC. See here, IC has been unsensed, but phrase has been transferred into DC. Made by Samsung, it was phrase because in this part there is no subject, there is no predicate. But in DC, we have used subject and predicate, which acts in two ways, conjunction plus subject. So from phrase we have made a DC, that means using IC and DC we have made a complex sentence. How can I make it compound? IC will be IC and DC will be CC. Okay, see here, IC, same thing, and DC has been transferred into a CC. When which is a conjunction, instead of which conjunction we have used a different conjunction, and when which is a subject, instead of that subject we have used here an independent subject, that means pronoun, it. So and it, this conjunction and subject have been used instead of which. This is the basic changes. So what are the basic changes here? Past participle phrase made by Samsung. This is a past participle phrase, and for making it DC, for making complex sentence, we have to use relative pronoun, that means who is, what, that, whom, whose, etc. But the suitable pronoun you have to use. Then for making compound, we have used and plus suitable pronoun. Yes, and plus suitable pronoun. For mobile phone, we have used here it. Good. Lima gave me an attractive gift. Here, Lima gave me an attractive gift. This is a complete IC. But where is phrase? There is no phrase. Yes, there is a phrase. An attractive gift, it is an object. Me is other object. See here, an attractive gift. It is a direct object. Me is an indirect object. Here, this adjective can be used for making DC or CC. Okay? For making complex sentence, you will use this adjective, that means attractive, for making DC and for making CC in your compound sentence. Okay, let us do it. See here, Lima gave me a gift. Which was attractive? See here, Lima gave me a gift, not an. Why? Because before attractive, we have used an, because this attractive word starts with vowel. That is why in the question it was an. But we will not use attractive in the IC in complex sentence. See here, it is an IC. Lima gave me a gift, because before gift we have to use a, because gift spelling Z is not a vowel, it is consonant. Lima gave me a gift. It is the same IC in the simple sentence but without adjective, and this adjective has been used for making DC. See here, which was attractive. In making complex sentence, we have used the same IC and we have made a new DC from the phrase. So IC and DC, it has been a complex sentence. So how can I make it compound? Very easy. IC will be IC and DC will be CC and nothing else. See here the picture, IC will be IC and DC will be CC. Okay. Lima gave me a gift, IC, and it was attractive. It has been a CC. And conjunction, its subject. And it, conjunction plus subject, these two parts have been used instead of which. In simple sentence, you will get an adjective in the subject or object part, and that adjective you have to use for making DC and CC. For making DC, you have to use relative pronoun, that means RP. For making CC, you have to use and plus suitable pronoun. that we have made already. Okay, proceed. Her thought becomes always right. The total sentence has been an IC. See here. The total sentence has been an IC. But her thought, it is a phrase, noun phrase. And this noun phrase can be transferred into a DC or an IC so that we can make it complex. See here. What she thinks becomes always right. What she thinks, how is it? We have used a relative pronoun RP, that means what. Then from her we have taken the subject, that is nominative case, she, and thought is noun form, but here it is not verb form, it is noun form. Think, thought. Yes, past and past participle form of think is thought and thought, but here thought is noun form. Her thought, that means her thinking. Okay, so from thought, that noun we have used here as a verb. What conjunction? She subject, thinks verb. Why it has been present tense, not past tense? Because the next part, see the next part, it is present tense, becomes present tense. That is why for making the new clause we have used present tense. What she thinks, it has been a DC, becomes always right, it has been an IC. Yes, becomes verb, but this DC has been used as a subject. Then how can I make it compound sentence? See here, she thinks something. This DC has been an IC and IC will transfer into a CC. See, and it becomes always right. See here, we have omitted, that means deleted what? She thinks something. This word has been taken from outside because it makes the right sense. She thinks something. It is IC and it becomes always right. And it becomes, here and conjunction, definite and conjunction, it indicates what she thinks. Jerry came to the orphanage at the age of 4. Here Jerry came to the orphanage, IC, at the age of 4 phrase. How can I make it complex? IC will remain IC and phrase will be DC. See here, IC has been IC and phrase has been a DC. Why it has been a phrase? Because in this part there is no subject, there is no predicate. But why it has been a DC? Because in this part there is subject, there is predicate. See, when conjunction, instead of at the age of, we have used here when. This subject has been taken from the subject given in the IC. Jerry is subject, Jerry was the name of a boy. So from that subject we have taken the subject he was. This verb has been taken from outside, but it has been past tense because here came verb past tense in the IC. So we have taken a verb from outside was 4. Okay, conjunction plus subject plus verb plus extension. These 4 parts have been ensured, that is why it has been a DC. So IC plus DC, it has been a complex sentence. How can I make it compound? IC will be IC and DC will be CC, nothing else. See here, IC and DC has been CC. See here, and then he was 4. And then, and is the conjunction, then indicates time. Okay, what are the basic changes here? If you see in the simple sentence at the age of, at the time of, at the age of, at the year of phrase, then in complex sentence you have to use when, while, after, before like this, and in compound sentence you have to use and, dot, then. This then optional, sometimes it may be used or sometimes it can be omitted, no problem. Okay, proceed. The writer met the lady guest at Fayot's. The writer met the lady guest. Up to here it is IC, at Fayot's it is phrase. So how can I make it complex? The IC will be IC and the phrase will be DC, or IC will be DC and phrase will be IC. Fayot's was the restaurant. This IC has been made from the phrase in simple sentence. The writer met the lady guest, it is IC, and just before the IC we have used here where. If we use where, then it will be, this IC will be a DC. Yes, we have transferred into a DC here. Then compound sentence, Fayot's was a restaurant and the writer met the lady guest there. See, one thing is very important here. Fayot's was a restaurant, not the restaurant. In complex sentence, we have used definite article the. But in compound sentence, for making IC, we have used indefinite article a instead of the. Fayot's was a restaurant and the writer made the lady guest there. This there sometimes used, sometimes it can be omitted. Okay, what are the basic changes here? Yes, in simple sentence, if you see there is a phrase using this type of preposition at, in, on, for, then in complex sentence you have to use where for making a DC. In compound sentence you have to use and dot dot there. There it is optional. Sometimes it is used or sometimes it may be omitted. Okay, these are the basic changes. In case of your failure to do, you will die. In simple sentence here, in case of your failure to do, it is a phrase, you will die, it is a clause, that means I see. So how can we transfer this simple sentence into complex? See, from phrase we have to make a DC and IC will remain IC, same. See here, if you fail to do, you will die. If you fail to do DC, you will die, same IC. How have we changed it? In case of your failure to do, it is phrase, and in case of, instead of this prepositional phrase, that is in case of, we have used here if. Then from your we have taken you is subject, nominative case, your positive case, not subject. Then failure was the noun form in the phrase, but we have used here as a verb form, that means fail. Fail verb, fail or noun. To do, same thing, that means extension. So from phrase we have made a DC. How? At first we have used a conjunction if, then subject you, then verb fail, then extension to do. It has been a DC and the same IC like the previous one. DC plus IC, that means a complex sentence. So how can I make it compound? This DC will be an IC and IC will be an CC and nothing else. See the sense. Do or die, or you can say you do or you will die, same thing. See here, do or you do, it is IC, or you will die or you die, it is CC. Just omit if from the DC, it will be an IC. IC and CC, that is compound sentence. Okay, proceed. The chairman knows the reason of her disagreement. The chairman knows, it is IC. The reason of her disagreement, it is phrase. IC plus phrase, that is a simple sentence. So how can I make it complex? IC will remain the IC same and the phrase will be transferred into DC. Then it will be a complex sentence. See, the chairman knows, same IC. Why she disagrees? It has been a DC. How? Instead of the reason of, we have used why. Instead of her, we have used here subject, she. Disagreement, it was noun, but we have used here disagrees, verb form for making DC. So why conjunction, she subject, disagrees verb, there is no extension. Okay. So conjunction subject verb, it has been a DC. So IC plus DC, of course it has been a complex sentence. Then how can I make it compound? Nothing else. IC will remain IC same and the DC will transfer into CC. But the DC will come to the first, DC will be IC and IC will be a CC. See here, she disagrees. It has come first because it is the first event. She disagrees and the chairman knows its reason. The chairman knows its reason here to indicate the reason, to make the original meaning. She disagrees, it is IC, and the chairman knows its reason, it is CC. So IC and CC, that means it has been a compound sentence. Okay, go to the next one. Both Polly and Dolly attended the party. Total sentence, it is an IC, but both Polly and Dolly, it is a noun phrase using both dot dot and. So how can I make it complex sentence? From the phrase you have to make a DC and IC will remain unchanged. Okay, see here. As Polly attended the party, Dolly did the same. Both Polly and Dolly attended the party. That means Polly attended the party and Dolly attended the party. As Polly attended the party, it is DC. Dolly also attended the party. We have not told the full sentence, but for making shortcut we have used in this way. Dolly did the same. That means Dolly also attended the party. First part DC and that is IC. In this way, it has been a complex sentence. So how is it compound? Using not only but also. Not only Polly but also Dolly attended the party. The full sentence is in this way. Not only Polly attended the party but also Dolly attended the party. This is the full sentence, but in shortcut form we have used here. See here, IC and that is CC. Not only Polly, it is IC. Why it is IC? You can make the complete sense. Not only Polly attended the party, it is IC. But also Dolly attended the party, it is CC. So, attended the party, it is a common part for making both these two clauses. So, in a shortcut way, we have used in this way. So, what are the basic sentences here? In simple sentence, in the first part, you will see the use of both dot dot and. Yes, we have used here both dot dot and. But in complex sentence, you have to use the conjunction since as because. Here we have used here as. And in compound sentence, we have to use not only dot dot but also conjunction. Yes, we have used not only here but also there. Not only dot dot but also for making compound sentence. Okay, go to the next one. Naima gave me a gift, a wristwatch. Naima gave me a gift, it is IC. A wristwatch, it is an appositive, that means phrase. Can you remember the appositive? In modifier, you have learnt this appositive. Appositive is the noun phrase that is usually used just after a noun or noun phrase. So a wristwatch is appositive. Whose appositive? It is the appositive of gift. So how can you transfer this simple sentence into complex sentence? Very easy. IC will remain IC and phrase will be a DC. See here. Naima gave me a gift, the same IC. Then we have made a DC from the phrase. Which was a wristwatch. How have we made a DC? We have used a relative pronoun RP, that means who is, what, that, whom, whose, etc. Which conjunction plus subject was verb. This verb has been taken from outside. Why it is past tense? Because in the IC we have seen the verb is past tense. A wristwatch, it is extension. Okay, so in this sentence we have used an IC and DC, that means it has been a complex sentence. And this DC has been made from the phrase, a wristwatch. Okay, how can I make it compound? IC will remain IC and the DC will be CC and nothing else. Very easy. Naima gave me a gift, IC, same IC, and the DC has been transferred into a CC. And it was a wristwatch. And conjunction, its subject, which acts both as a conjunction and as a subject. So instead of which we have used here and it. Okay. So what are the basic sentences here? In simple sentence, if you see any appositive, that means a noun phrase that has been used as an appositive. In complex sentence, you have to use relative pronoun, suitable relative pronoun for making DC. And in compound sentence, you have to use and suitable pronoun for making CC. Okay, up to here, we have learnt everything in the easiest way. We have learnt the basic techniques of transferring the simple sentence to complex and compound. Thank you very much. Thank you everybody. If you like to get this type of tutorials, please subscribe my channel and don't forget to share these tutorials with your friends and others, and never forget to click the bell icon so that you can get more videos that I will publish afterwards. Thank you very much. Thank you everybody. Allah Hafiz.